There are the irises. Little notations for the pupils. What I'm looking at has a big highlight right where the pupil will be, so I don't want to make that very dark yet. I like to connect them with a line in between there. One of the first things I drew was a line. So if that's horizontal, make it so. If it's this way or that way, make it so. And I'm sketching the eyes, the bags, the eyelids, the nose, general to specific. So the pupils there, I like to establish those around those. The irises I like to establish around the pupils. And then the eyelid on top. The eyelids usually cover the top of the iris, cover more of the top and less of the bottom. In this case, it covers none of the bottom over here and on both sides. And that's something that you can, if you think about it, that's gravity working right there. Gravity's pushing down, so the top eyelid's pulling down farther, the bottom eyelid's just pulling down farther. So when someone's on your eye level looking at you, that's usually how that is. That's why that works that way. There's more iris showing on the bottom than the top. If they're hanging upside down or if sideways, that's going to be different. So I forgot the. Now an eye is an almond shape, and some things to look for are: is there more white of the eye to the right or to the left of the iris? And so before you go too dark and too specific, make sure you measure that, make sure you check that. And then the supporting elements, the eyelids around it. And then there's this dark shape here. And then there's often a light shape here. I call it like a bean. It looks like a bean where the orbital comes through there. And the lid will have a certain shape. There's proportions, directions, and whatnot. And of course the eyebrow itself, if it will take a certain shape and line, its thickness and calligraphic quality, thick to thin perhaps. All right. And what I don't do for object drawing is I don't start with one eye and draw the eye like this and draw it set in stone and then go on over and then work to the next eye. I'm drawing it all together, if you notice. Because if one thing changes, a lot will change. So work general to specific. And I'm doing just this section, this little strip of an extreme close-up of this. All right, so these sort of bean shapes, I'm going to outline, build a little fence around where the white is. I'm going to note where the dark is here. And this particular reference has a lot of makeup on. In my next video, I'm going to do an eye, single eye with no makeup. But these, note where the light's going to be, where the dark's going to be. These nice little features that go around the eye really help. That's more than half of what you see is what's around the supporting cast around the eyes there. All right, so I'm going to jump into one eye. Switch to the detail position. My preparations are ready, have been completed. I'm ready to go for some detail now. Ready for some commitment. The fun part. So I'm following along with what's already there. The hard part's been done. It's light. can check that, and this little highlight is about like that. And in this reference, I can't tell where it's a very dark eye where the eye ends and the eyelash begins, and it's all dark, so I'm going to make it all dark like this. And I might make the outside a little bit lighter than the iris, a little bit lighter. And one thing with the iris, so there's the pupil here, and then this field is lighter, but on the outside of the iris, if you darken that up, it looks very good. If you darken, so if your model or your reference doesn't have that, go ahead and add that in there, and that'll make them look even better. If you want to make them look better. All right, now this part right here, watch, I'm going to turn the paper to do a little mechanical thing. These particular marks, see, I already knew where it was going to be dark, and I turned it so that's the power position I was getting for those kind of marks. Almost like a printmaking mark right there. And watch how the supporting stuff helps this. These dark channels over here. And this is light, the chiaroscuro, just like with our egg. Chiaroscuro. Proportion, direction, shapes. Kind of ends there. And don't be afraid to make it all dark. I can make it all dark and nice little veil over everything, and then I can pull back where that light was. Same thing in here. I can pull that back. I can use my blending stump here. Let's season it up. That's going to make a nice blender right there. It makes quick work of that shading. See, the light takes a journey around here. Very dark here, black in here. And it wraps around. Darker here, reaching to the light. Very dark here. Flowing over. There might be a hard edge here. There'll be a soft edge there. Gradual transition over here. But another thing is the nose, it doesn't have a line like that, does it? It's a fold. It's hard edges, soft edges, make it dark where it's dark. And if there's no line, don't put a line. Kind of like the difference between here. We want to make a line between, because our mind's eye, we think it has to have a line between the upper eyelid and lash and the eye. But if you don't see it, just draw it what you see. And don't worry about it. Where's the eyelash? It's just draw what you see and don't worry about it. And that eyelash, I can articulate that eyebrow a little bit better. A thin brow coming over here. And there's and they're focused on one eye, but you would do the whole thing would emerge together. I would work a little bit on this, a little bit on that, a little bit of this, a little bit on that. So the whole thing is, the whole drawing is merging together. And that's okay. It's not too bad. Kind of like that one.